Hey, what's up, everybody? Shane and Ronnie here. We're live. It's Tuesday's Crowcast, episode 91. How are we, Crow family? Hope you're all well. Let us know you're here with us tonight. How we doing, Ronnie?
Very well, son. Very well. Couple of weeks off, couple of glitches
Yeah,
to start off. Then it's great to be back.
it's amazing, isn't it? China Dave will be joining us later on the show, but as always, you've got our guest to chat to first. The heartbeat and drummer of a band, Punk Rock Factory, Cobb, will be joining us very shortly. Can't wait to get into that. There he is, throwing a stick in the air, not even looking. What talent. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
If you've got some questions for Cobb, put them in the comments and we start reading them out to him. Let's have a look. Hey, Lynn, what's up? Alex, they're all here tonight. The usual mob. Carly, how are we? Hope you're all feeling good. A lot of people picking up COVID. Again, another bout of it. Another wave, as they say. Hope everyone's feeling okay. But you've been all right though, Ron, have you?
Yeah. Very, 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 very fortunate. So I went to Dublin. Obviously, we did the last Crowcast a couple of weeks ago. Went to Dublin for a few days. It was glorious, mate. I gotta admit, first time I kind of been away for a while, and it was as if everything was normal. That's the best way to put it. Probably picked the most manic weekend to go away. Paddy's week, and the international was on over there. Great time, plenty of Guinness drunk, and then came home and the wife wasn't very well. So it is about, but I'm lucky you've tested negative. Everything is fine. But like you said, man, it's still around us. It's still causing a lot of shit, like, to be honest, for bands, for businesses, for families. Like I said, there's birthdays, obviously, and it's nothing worse than when you test positive on your birthday and you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. And there's been a few of the Crow family who have been going through that lately. And it's just shit, bro. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I know Carly picked it up. Annie had it as well. B, it's like so many of them. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, we've been doing this now 91 episodes, which is a long time, like, do you know what I mean? So that's basically from the heart of the pandemic to the shit, to the glorious parts, to oh fuck, we're back in lockdown, to everything's kind of just getting on with things now, but it's still kind of gutting, like I said, where schedules are still fucked up. We know bands that are on the road, and lineups are having to change in bands, whether it be techs having to jump into musician spots because to keep the show on the road. COVID bubbles are still a thing. So it's kind of still a weird world that we're in at the moment, Mr. Greenall. We're kind of still not there, are we, like,
Yeah, it is weird. I was lucky enough to get away for a bit. I went abroad, and it's just mad how other countries aren't up to where we are. Like, do you know what I mean? So it was almost stepping back in time a couple of months. The place I went to, it was still masks everywhere,
Wow.
whereas now it's over here, it's not the case. Remember this woman shouted at me. I went into a supermarket. She was like, "Mask!" She's like, really, like, it's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, put the mask on." So it's just mad, dude. It haven't gone away. I think it's more of a case of it is in life, general life now. It's just going to be with us for a long time. I think we just gotta, work through it, I guess. But hopefully, it's just not affecting people as it did. Crazy times.
Yeah, fingers crossed. The people I know of, they're on their second or third. I've even seen some people on the socials on their third and fourth now. And yeah, it seems to be like a really bad cold, but it's still disruptive, as you said. I only went to Dublin, and it was genuinely, they're like the UK, everything was just back to normal. It was kind of nice to be in a busy pub, busy club, have that contact. Normally you're a bit of a grumpy fucking British citizen and you're like, people bumping you, and I kind of liked it, like, do you know what I mean? So I just like the normality of it. So yeah, it is something I think we're gonna be living with, and as long as everybody manages it, stays as healthy as possible, the sooner the other countries can catch up, it's going to be better for touring bands, for example, because I know the Americans are having a trouble kind of scheduling their European dates. We're having trouble ourselves, which I don't mind saying on you, trying to trying to get things in place, because the moment you do, something will fall apart, or somebody will pull out because that country they're not quite there. So it's just still a little bit of a shambles, man. It's but still fucking better than where we were, like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
100%, bro. 100%. But it was nice to get away. It was nice to not think about music for a week, even though I was. And I guess you were too. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just sometimes it's just good to just get away in it. Just get away a little bit.
It's
So
perfect. Nice little switch off.
yeah.
And then while we were away, there was a few gigs announced, which
Mm.
yet again is positive. The day splits have been done for Primordial. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. There are the day splits. Tickets are still available, Shane, which is
Awesome.
great.
Awesome.
But I'm not sure for how long as well. So great event. And then this cracker was announced as well during the period of when we were off, I think.
Yes.
Which is another mighty, it's a brand new festival in Manchester. Obviously comes off the back of the Chepstow Castle and Tenby gig. So we've got Chepstow Castle on the Thursday, Tenby on the Friday, and then this cracker has been announced on the we're on the Saturday. We're headlining the Saturday night, which is brilliant.
If you look at the bottom address there, look, it's White Bottom Farm. That's literally what I got right now with my tan. That's the only part that's white. White Bottom Farm. Nobody wants to see that.
And then another cracker, which I'm really excited for this one as well, because it's a great cause, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I was so happy when we got this. As you said, it's an incredible cause. Kids with cancer in general, it's affected, well, pretty much all of us in the band. So, yeah, hold close to our hearts, and just it's an amazing lineup. Check it out. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Eagles of Death Metal as well,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm excited for that one. And you can see Punk Rock Factory are on there as well, so we'll be talking to Cobb about that later.
yeah,
But yeah, busy week, man. Like I said, we only had 1 week off.
yeah,
For me, like, this is more newsworthy for me and like any wrestling fans who tune in or listen to me gabble on about WWE. But a sad week. Old Triple H is retired. That one hit me hard this week. Put it on my socials. Whether you're a wrestling fan or not, he is quite iconic. Yet again, heart disease. That was a shock, but thank God he's well. He's got a family and everything. So there's genuinely no chance of him wrestling again by the look of it, because he's had a pacemaker fitted as well. So
how
it's
old is
quite.
he?
He's in his 50s, dude. But it was horrible. He's done this like short interview, because it was quite kept under wraps. And he did this short interview about it, and he started having a little bit of chest pain and stuff. And obviously he's CEO in WWE. He's high up, like, so he's got his own doctors. And the guy did the examination. And I was like, pack a case, get down to the hospital. And by the time he got to the hospital, he was losing percentages of where his heart should be. So he was slowly kind of fucking going, like, obviously the full interview's up on the socials. I'm explaining that absolutely arse backwards probably, but it was scary to listen to. And then they obviously said, how long will it take you to get back to fitness and stuff? Because he wasn't full time anyway. He just come back for special appearances and stuff, and he could still go. But yeah, it was horrible to hear him utter the words of, "That's it." Like, I don't want anybody zapping me on live TV. Like, so that's him retired. Which is a real shame. And then obviously this is something that we'll touch
Oh
on a
man,
bit more
yeah,
about later. It's tragic. He's a drummer, but I mean, all the band absolutely love his work, and Foo Fighters are a massive inspiration for the Crows. So yet again, that's something that's happened since we've been off. It's brutal. It's been nice talking to the Crow family. There are a lot of Foo Fighters fans in there. So everybody's kind of talking to each other about it. And something we'll hit on again later in the show.
yeah,
And one more thing as well, because I know it's been a busy time, is we were nominated for Best British Artist in the Rocks. So yet again, a lot of people have voted. A lot of you might not know about it. You can head on over to planetrock.com and vote for ourselves. That'd be bloody lovely. So that was another great honor as well, wasn't it?
yeah, man, absolutely. it's always an honor to be nominated. So just to be in the mix is phenomenal. And who knows, if you want to vote for us, that'd be incredible. Please do. But it's a great it's a great lineup again, and the nominees and stuff. So if we win, I won't do a Will Smith. Put it that way.
Do you know what? I didn't get. That's the one fucking thing I didn't put up. Like, if I'm honest, there's so much news and stuff. I was like, that's unbelievable, unbelievable.
What was he thinking, man?
Unbelievable. I thought it was fake when I first looked at it. I was like, nah, come on. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I had to keep watching it back, and it's like it's really fucking awkward. Like, do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Maybe that's something we'll have a chat with Dave and Shiner after. But
Yeah, absolutely.
Rock my fucking world, like Jesus Christ. Oh, Cobb, Jesus, fucking hell. Talking about Cobb, should we have a guest?
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Crow family. Please welcome Cobb from Punk Rock Factory.
Hey,
Done, boys.
All right, Matt.
Hi. How we doing?
We're good, thanks, bro. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Where are you two,
Over
fella?
here.
In
In Cobram, in my house.
That looks banging there, man. Is this your studio?
Oh no, this is my office in the house. The studio is just out there, though. Yeah, it's just
how big's your house?
outside building. Pretty big.
It's stunning, bro. Obviously, follow you on the socials, and the work you've been doing is brilliant, because you've got like a smoking room in there as well, haven't you? It's got that vibe, like it's fucking great. Like, it's great. Fair play.
That's the beauty of not having kids, isn't it? You just spend all your money on yourself in your house.
That's it.
Very true. Very
that's
true. How have you been keeping, buddy? You all right?
Good. Yeah, really good. Just flat out. We're just non-stop lately with all the PRF stuff, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to have known you by now. I mean, when obviously we sent the message over to come on, I was saying to Shane just now, one of my kids was like, "Oh, that's wicked. I look at them all the time on TikTok and stuff," which is that's ace, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's mad how many people it reaches. The amount of people that we've just like bumped into and they just come and talk to us. Like, I was buying something in John Lewis before, and the guy's like, "Oh my God, I love your stuff." Like, cheers. Really nice.
Yeah.
We'll go back further, but while we're on it, how did it all kick off and all that, like, you know? So
we started quite a while ago. I think it's about 8 years ago or so now. But like, we just did it as a bit of fun, really. Me and the boys just making covers, having a laugh with everything, and never really expected too much to happen, because it was just a bit of fun on the side. But then when we did the Disney album, it just absolutely blew up. Like, we started going viral on TikTok before that, but the Disney album just took us to another level. And since that, it's just kind of become a bit of a household name now, and everyone just loves it. And obviously the numbers are just through the roof lately.
Yeah.
You could see on your website, I love your. It said Punk Rock Factory, 4 idiots making DIY punk rock covers. Yeah. and then it just blew up after the Disney album, like.
Yeah, like, it still feels mad that so many people are actually listening to us, because we're just having a laugh.
Yeah.
We just love what we're doing. And like, we're on it every day as well. The boys are here Monday to Friday, 9-5. We're just out in the studio making tunes.
So where did that idea come from, Bud? Why did you decide to do the Disney stuff, the animation? Why?
So the Disney stuff, we'd already done I Just Can't Wait to Be King from The Lion King, and we put it on the first album. But then actually, my missus Becky, who helps us out and does our film, and she started pushing the stuff on TikTok. And then we put that video up, and it went nuts on TikTok. And that was the first real viral video we had. And then we just thought, off the back of that, we'll start doing a couple of small other Disney videos. And then we just decided, let's just do an entire Disney album. And we keep trying to do different stuff, but we're just kind of known as the Disney band now. So we're just embracing it.
No, I think it's wicked, because I mean, you've got so many albums that you've been doing. Like you said, if you're in there from 9 till 5, I speak to you as well, so I know you're constantly on it. Like, do you know what I mean? It is your day jobs now, which is fuck. That is just so cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. The fact of you've turned an idea, something fun, like you said, and you're still having fun with it, and this is what you do now. Like, do you know what I mean? Which, that's incredible. That's paying the bills, etc. Like, you know. But yeah, I mean, I tuned in from the early days, and I was like, fucking hell, that's different. That's wicked. And then you could just see it slowly but surely just evolving. Even the whole studio that you've got with the neon sign, and everything just progressing, like, do you know what I mean? And then obviously the albums started coming out, which were incredible, and well done as well. Like they're not exactly cheaply made. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, because everything you do is DIY. Am I right?
Completely, yeah. Like Benj does all the production and he's nailing it. I can't believe how far he's come on his production. Beck does all the videos. I do the editing. Obviously, we all do the songs together. We do the socials together. We're on it constantly, and we're always pushing for better. Like you can see the videos improving, the studio improving. We're always looking at new ways to push the boat out. Really.
Yeah. Is it like like I'm loving all like the songs, and it just takes you back obviously to the childhood and stuff. And I was thinking, like, the reason I think why music is so good for our age in particular, it was because the cartoons and films and animation round our time, they were so fucking catchy when all those theme songs. Like I was listening to your album today. I went for a bike ride. Jesus Christ, man! It took me right back, like Thundercats, and I loved Thundercats, absolutely loved it. But you do such a great job, bro. Like Thundercats is one of my favorites. Animaniacs. Which one do I love? Denver, the Last Dinosaur.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites from that album. Yeah.
Is there any is there any song that you've I don't know, put down, like brainstorming when you guys get together and think of what songs to do, where you've tried and it's just not working yet? Like, or
constantly.
Is it?
Constantly. We could put out probably 3 albums of the songs that never make it, because we're so hard on ourselves with the arrangements, with everything. Sometimes we can spend a week on a song and just go, nah, it's not happening. And like that album, especially, every album, we do it all the time. Where this, especially the Disney ones, because they're not normal songs. They're so weird, like musical, theatrical arrangements that sometimes just don't translate to rock. So you start putting it down, and we try and layer up octaves and stuff like that, and it just doesn't really work. So constantly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Fucking love it. The arrangements, like I said, as Shane said, I think you've got a new one now, which was on the South by
South by Southwest. So it was on the Gaming Awards. Yeah.
Round 1 was there. So you did like a
fight.
medley of all the games and stuff, which, fuck, man. I mean, how long would something like that take? Roughly, I don't want to go too much and spoil it for the fans, but how long does something like that roughly take you guys?
That one didn't. I'm quite surprised how quick we put that together, because we kind of sat in a room with that and we decided all the songs that we wanted to do. And then we just got the songs, put them in a session, just kind of laid them up, which ones would work together, which ones are similar keys and timings and stuff. And then we just started putting some drums down, which we always do. We just kind of get in a room together, which is silly because I think the songs could be better if we all worked on them a little bit more. But we just get in a room and we just throw ideas at each other, and I'll put the drums down there and then with the boys throwing ideas. And then we just start putting stuff. And we had that done within a week, I'd say, and that's the most fun we've had with the track, because it feels more like an original, which the other ones were kind of just working with exactly what's there and building from it. But we had a lot of fun making that.
Yeah, you're doing on the outro, the end section is so fucking singy. Yeah. It just reminds me of anthemic in a fucking festival, like, do you know what I mean? So
and the words we had to learn for that was Swahili in the end, and we're all doing gangs to that. We got some wicked behind the scenes, all trying to learn Swahili.
Oh, fucking hell!
Yeah. But can you speak Welsh, Cobb?
No, not really. The odd words.
You can speak Swahili. That's brilliant.
I think what I love is, like, you go in and it doesn't matter how fucking silly an idea it is, because it could end up on the record and it could end up being a perler. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the key to what you do. Like, do you know what I mean? It's and then obviously COVID happened, which was perfect for you guys as well, because everything became online. So the whole thing focused to what was being done, who could put out what content, etc. You got your base, you got your HQ, you're churning out these songs, and then you start getting guests as well, which was like, because when I started seeing that happen, I was like, that is clever as fuck. Because I think you're one of the first people I seen doing collaborations. I know, like, everybody got on the collaborations thing, but you're one of the kind of first that I seen hot on it, like, you know.
Yeah, that all just fell into place. That did. We had Steve from Belvedere got in touch. Yeah, because like you say, it was COVID. Everyone was just really bored at the time, wasn't it? But Steve got in touch, and I've loved Belvedere since I was a kid. So when he got in touch, we couldn't believe that. So we did the track with him. And then Jarrett got in touch, which was mental because Bowling for Soup. And then they all just kind of fell into place. Most of them came to us as well.
Yeah,
Pretty much
Protest
all
the
of them.
Hero.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all
yeah,
bands,
Roadie.
man, that we
Yeah.
grew up listening to in vans and stuff like that. And I was like, fucking hell, look, the boys doing an album with like everybody from 2008 onwards. Like, do you know what I mean? It was mad. So
And we had Roadie on the album before as well. He's loved us since like really early days. Like even before anyone cared, Roadie's always been there, which is amazing.
So is it yet again the socials that's drawing these in, or
Yeah, because we've just been kind of on it, haven't we? We've always kept up with Instagram and YouTube and everything, and these like the fans have just grown with us really. Whereas now we're seeing silly numbers because of the kind of videos going viral and stuff. But we've always kept on top of sharing everything with all the fans, and it's just grown with them.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. It's the know-how to do that and what's hot and stuff as well, which was your background, if I'm right. You had like a digital marketing background, all to do with like analytics and who to aim it to and etc. Is that right?
Yeah. I've been doing this kind of stuff with all other bands for like probably about 8 or 9 years now. So to actually do this full time with PRF as the main thing is amazing, because it was always me behind the scenes working with all these different bands, whereas now to actually be in the band, which I thought I was done with, to be honest. I thought with like when I was 20, I was done with all this, and to be at this age now and actually tour in the world and stuff is pretty slamming.
Dude, I mean, we'll touch on that in a second because I know you can share it with everybody. There's obviously you're lucky to be on the drums and you've done all the hard work behind the scenes to make that happen. But before we get to there, when you said like your marketing background, you started off obviously the same as everybody else in school bands, college bands. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is that how you got into music, or were you into music before that, or?
Yeah, no, it was all, probably when I was like 16, getting into my first band, and it was always on the scene like you boys were and stuff back in the day. Yeah, nothing like else really, nothing orchestral. It was all just band stuff.
Was it drums straight away, dude?
Oh yeah. I can't play anything else. I wish I learned something else though. Only drums. Yeah.
It's funny you should say that, because when I was listening to like all your albums, it's pretty full on, dude, and they're like all your beats are just like you're freaking flat out. Like there's no room for you to have a breather. Like
I know. And I'm too busy throwing sticks all the time as well, constantly hitting the boys in the face with sticks.
What were the bands that got you into drumming then, dude?
Oh, definitely all the like early punk rock stuff like Belvedere, and a lot of the guests that we got on that album, like Belvedere, 10 for Pole, Protest the Hero, 4 Foot Fingers. But all really fast stuff. Like once I heard those kind of bands just absolutely tilting and Propaganda and stuff like that, I just wanted to play fast, and Blink-182 and Offspring and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then also Kiss and stuff like that, and more of the rock side and everything. But the super fast stuff was all those punk rock bands.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, that's your background and stuff. I think I met you around 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Around that era, the whole Blackout, and you were in a band called the Guns, which are well known across Wales. Fantastic rock and roll band. So that's why it was interesting, like when Shane said about your style of drumming, because I remember it being more like what we're doing now, if that makes sense. It was more like the rock and roll. It was more rock and roll vibe to it.
Yeah.
Still kind of fast, actually, now I think about it. It had a punk rock edge. Probably your influence.
Thing is with them, it was weird because I was in My Little Murder, which is pretty much PRF without Peach. And the Guns came to me and was like, come on, will you join us? We're going on tour, Lost Prophets and stuff like that. So I quit My Little Murder to join the Guns, and I had a wicked time playing with them, but it wasn't the stuff I wanted to play at all. So I did make them a lot faster in a lot of ways, but I really want to be back in My Little Murder, tilting, flat out punk, really. But we did some wicked shows.
That makes sense because obviously when I met Benj, he was in My Little Murder, but he had the doctor, I believe. He ended up being a doctor on the drums, or he was a fucking slick drummer. He was as well.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, he was like fuck, but exactly the same. He was flat out. It was all. I mean, the first thing when I met Benj and I started drumming with him, he was just like, "You gotta listen to this. You gotta listen to this. You gotta listen to this." Everything was fucking hardcore pop punk. It was just fast as fuck. Like work on that beat. Just play that beat.
Me and Ben's just grew up listening to the same stuff. Like the amount of bands I know because of him, just drilling Audio Galaxy and stuff. So yeah, we had a good time in that band.
Well, it makes sense because same as like Shane and myself, and even Shina, we go back. So it's kind of like we've come full circle as well of like all the bands that we grew up listening to. And I think when you find that, dude, I mean, that's why like when I listen to your project now, everything about it just screams you guys. It's, you know what I mean? You can tell you're having the time of your life. And I think when you find that, it don't matter when it is, that's when you'll get the best creative stuff going. Like, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, so many bands trying to fit themselves into this pigeonhole and stuff just to make money. And it's only when you really love what you're doing that it's going to work, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you've got to fucking do it. You don't realize it when you're in it. Then you fuck off, jam with other people, and you go, why ain't this working as good? Or why?
Yeah.
And it's just the people you've grown up with and you just have that connection with. And
Definitely.
It's so important.
Yeah. I actually had a jam with the Guns, I think about a year or two ago. And we were talking about doing something, got in a room with them, like, nah, it's not for me. I'm in the perfect band now. I'm with the boys that I need to be. I wouldn't want to play with anyone else now, unless it's like a guest with a tidy band or something. But
see, that's beautiful to hear that. Nice. That's honest because Alex played with us in oh fuck, I should remember his band name, but because they're not kind of active now, it goes out your brain. Like, but he had a new band going after. Obviously, you did the Guns thing, and that was pretty cool. And Dane Campbell was playing drums with him. Fucking this. Yeah. This, you remember they played with us in Swansea, Shane, and we were like, fuck, these are very, very cool and that. But I was still like, they are. I was like, but Alex is like, to me, his wheelhouse was the Guns. That was the whole welcome to the fucking rock and roll show. And it was just like, it was wicked. But it's good to know, like the amount of times I've known you and seen you play, that this is exactly where you belong. Like, do you know what I mean? That's massively important. Like I said, like, you know?
Yeah. Like Al is super, super talented. Playing with him was always wicked and we had a wicked laugh, but us four now playing together, we're just on a level now. We're just doing stuff.
It's fucking do you know what I love about that photo is so far from the truth. There's fucking water in the picture. Like that's just not the band that I remember playing with. Jesus
Some of the
Christ.
shit that we did in that band, like just
yeah, but there wasn't. I was working this out the other day because I was talking about you and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I've known Cobb. We used to play the Guns and stuff. We used to do gigs and blah blah blah. And then I was like, fuck, are we not for that documented? And I'm like, that's a good thing that a lot of that is not on camera because
we had a crew with us, and it just never made. I don't know what happened to it. Someone's got the footage somewhere. They were talking about doing it for a Channel 4 documentary. They were just following us around for like a year.
Fuck, that was crazy. That was crazy shit. Yeah, that was crazy shit. Because basically, Shane, even if you were on like the bill with them, you weren't driving home. Just weren't driving home. Like, do you know what I mean? The amount of times I turned up in a van as we do, you got that professional head on, or you're like, right, wicked. It just all went out the fucking window. It was just literally, it was wild, dude. But it was good times as well. And like I said, less camera phones. It was all about the old MySpace back then. So yeah, it was a lot of shenanigans and good memories for you, I suppose. And at least you went over because you went over to Germany, played some fucking shit off festivals as well.
Yeah, we did quite a lot of decent dates on there. That's the one good thing with it, and learned a lot just doing what we were doing. Like everything I'm doing now started from there, really. So
we constantly say the same. I think everything we did in the past is kind of it was there for a reason, but it was obviously to make you who you are now, like, you know. So after the Guns, obviously that's when you started venturing into the whole digital marketing vibe as well. And a few years after that,
I sessioned with like on and off with a bunch of bands, and like I toured with like Save Your Breath and a few other bands and stuff, but wasn't really doing it full time. And then started pushing myself as more of a session player and played with a couple of bands. But then I started, I wanted to work with the whole covers thing, basically like an early model of PRF, and I met the Beef Seeds. Have you heard of them? So
I think
they
only
were,
through you. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So they were like a bluegrass band from Newport, and I started working with them, managing them, and pretty much doing the same thing that we do with PRF with them. And that was like 8 or 9 years ago, I think. So around the time early PRF, and I actually met Beck, who is my missus now, and she was the bass player, and started working with them. And then after that point, just worked with all these different bands over the years, doing covers pretty much, like marketing them, doing their social media, adverts and stuff. But essentially, it was all kind of what PRF is doing now, but early on.
That's really interesting. And how would you do it? Would you like aim like just basically pick out on Facebook and stuff like that? Because we were in the Facebook era then. I
Yeah.
assume, yeah.
Well, it was YouTube. So what I was doing a lot was seeing what were the like viral videos at the moment. So when it was like Lord Royals and Blurred Lines and stuff, when those songs seem like they're gonna pop off, we get in the studio quickly and do a cover of that, make a video, get it up, get it on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and everything, and then put a little bit of money into advertising. But back then, it wasn't so much adverts; it was more just sheer social media and Reddit and all these other places that I just drill and be them on social media. So constantly talking to their fans, putting up photos, little snippets of videos, and just trying to make their videos go viral, really.
That's incredible. Have you got tips for bands these days as well? Because what we've seen through lockdown, I think it's a fair comment. You've got bands like yourself. We've gone and done the Crowcast route as well. We did the whole pre-gig selfies. So we were always trying to interact with everybody. It was cracking ideas from the band. Always trying to keep active. Always trying to kind of build that community, build that family, which we've got it into now. Like is that the key to it as well?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you got to involve the fans, but also I think the big mistakes a lot of these bands make is they think that just being an amazing band is enough these days, but it's not, because you got to be content creators, you got to be video makers, you got to be photographers, you got to be social media experts, you got to be marketers, because if you're not doing it, somebody else is going to do it and they're going to get more success than you. And we're playing the social media game these days, aren't we? Like, you could make the best song ever, but you can't reach people unless you know how to market it. So like, you're nailing it. The way you guys are doing it and how you're doing it with the Crowcast and everything is just genius, because it's finding a way to connect to people. We do that by making these videos going viral. And then when that audience comes in, then we market to them and we say, now buy this and now do this and everything. And same thing you're doing, really. And it's finding a way to separate yourself from everyone else, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that was another reason, like me and Shane were saying about getting you on as well, because it's great to have someone else rather than us preach, because there's a lot of bands kind of saying that they can't really do a lot at the moment, or they haven't been able to do a lot. And I think in this age, this is where you can capitalize, to be honest. This is where there's been a lot of people at home. There's been a lot of people listening. The only thing that I find frustrating at the moment is when a band do bring out a new single and it's there today and it's gone tomorrow. That is the way of the world now. So it's not it's not even a gripe on the consumer or the fan or the person that has grown with your band. Like, it's just more the society that we're in at the moment of there's a lot of work that goes into it. A lot of people get paid, in our case, for example, on certain areas, and then the song gets put out, and then the next week it's like, right, we're on to the next, where I suppose with you guys, it's a lot less hurtful in that manner, because you can kind of go, right, bang in, we'll get the next song out now, because you're filming, recording, fucking advertise. Everything is like you said, is just bang, bang, bang. So you're constantly keeping it moving. Like, I think it's more frustrating for the bands who spend that run up, as you remember, and then it's like, here's the releases, and then it's like, right, that's that done, and on to the next, which it's
heartbreaking for bands. It is. It really is. And the time and love and effort that goes into these things, and the money as well that goes into it. Like, we're so lucky, obviously. I've got the studio. Ben's doing the production. Beck's doing the filming. We can turn these things over. But bands don't have that, do they? And it's so hard. You put that much effort into something and you want it to explode. But it's the world that we live in now. It's this throwaway culture that people don't really care about albums anymore. Like, Spotify's amazing on so many levels, but for that classic band album approach, it's killed it, really, haven't it? Which is hard, But this is why instead of doing a 12-track album and thinking this album's going to change the world, I think bands need to get a little bit more savvy now and start working on singles and put out a single once a month, because then you benefit from things like Spotify Release Radar and Discover Weekly, which when you put up an entire album, you can only pitch one song. So it's given us a lot more tools to work in different ways. But it is hard. When you're spending a year making an album and then nothing happens, it is a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you find it? I mean, you've lived in all the worlds of being, well, grassroots. You've always been grassroots in all respect. Like, do you know what I mean? The DIY vibe. Do you actually find it more exciting now, where it's kind of like,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. And like, I've done a lot of work behind the scenes with like decent labels and stuff. And like the biggest band I work with would be Codaline, and they're huge.
Yeah.
But even at that level, the money that they throw, like a new single comes out and they're like, right, you got a budget of 80 grand, go and promote this single. And I just see the money being spent. You're like, oh God, that's just, you could do so much more with that. But yeah, there's just so much money being thrown around. This is why for me, I think we're seeing this big shift now where bands just need to learn these different things, learn these techniques and these tools, and stop relying on labels, stop relying on promoters. Like, obviously you need an agent and stuff for kind of top level stuff, but just doing these things themselves and not having a label saying, no, we don't like what you're doing there, we don't like what you're doing there. Just learn this stuff. Like, you've got all the time in the world to sit there and read all the kind of things that I used to read, and there's YouTube tutorials and tons of stuff to read to put it back into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it just comes down to like I know that you could, I guess you could argue musicians are just sitting there going, well, I don't want to do that. I just want to play guitar. I just want to sing. I just want to go and do shows and blah, blah, blah. But you are absolutely right. The era has changed now. The market has changed completely. And it was never, it's mad hearing you talk, and it's almost like you've got this, what's the word? Like a template then of how you would release and songs and keeping within your fan base and stuff and hitting new audiences. But we kind of didn't do Crowcast and all this other stuff because we were thinking in that way, like, oh, we need to do this. It almost organically just happened. And then because we had such a reaction, we're like, shit, like, this is it. Like, we almost like stumbled upon it because we were you know, obviously COVID tied our hands and like, oh, let's just keep in touch with the fan base. They love our shows. They come and support us. Let's do the Crowcast, and they're here now. And it's like, but without Crowcast, they couldn't have done it. And then you start thinking there's so many more avenues you can go into, and we're having meetings weekly about what we can do off stage. And those conversations were never a thing for bands. Like 5 years ago, as little as 5 years ago, they weren't even a thing. And just seeing how it's changed in the last 2 years, even. And you're quite right, bud. If you're not doing it, somebody else will. And I think it's a case of you can't be a lazy musician no more. Like there was always this thing, where you can just like, I'm just gonna rock up to a gig, man, with my guitar and just fucking play a show and then get pissed and then do it again tomorrow. Well, sadly, there's no longevity in that anymore, unless you're a fucking incredible songwriter who can just churn out songs but as you said, if you haven't got a platform so it's just almost like musicians and kids and people who want to be successful, it ain't just about being in a band anymore on stage. It's the shit you do off stage that's almost as important as the music you're producing.
Big time. And all these kids that are coming up now, like, we're of the old school generation, so we're kind of holding on to these things, but learn about the new stuff. Just look at these kids on TikTok that are just doing the most insane numbers. And if you're not doing it and you can't be asked to do it because you'd rather be playing PlayStation or something like that, then some kid's just going to blow past you and get paid £1 million for some crazy thing on TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to be doing, like, we love the music, we love the playing live and all that stuff. We don't want to be sitting there going, right, we got to do 1 million videos on TikTok and we need to try this one little thing and we need to make the video 11 seconds because it works better and it's going to go more viral. We don't want to be doing that. We want to be making, like, if we had the free time, we could probably do 3 albums a year, maybe 4. But so much of the time is obsessing over the numbers. It's putting up a video and going, right, this is going to be the one. And then the next morning going, okay, this is going to be the next one. And just winding the boys up all the time because I'm just like, this is the one. Just becomes such a stress.
What is the one at the moment? What is the leading jewel? Yeah.
Oh, it's we don't talk about Bruno.
That's the one.
That's the gift that keeps on giving for us right now. And like I said to you the other day about it was on the Oscars, but they had that video going round and we couldn't see it on the broadcast. But
I didn't know whether I could say that, but
because we signed the waivers and everything, but we didn't see it on there.
Yeah, tell Shane about that, man, because obviously I had the email chain with you and stuff, which was really cool.
We had an email from TikTok with like loads of heads of TikTok saying the Oscars want to speak to you about something. It's like, what's this about? Then the Oscars get in touch and they say, we want to use your video on the Oscars if we don't talk about Bruno. So we're like, yeah, please do. We didn't know what to expect. And then we all stayed up the other night, like Sunday night, like 3 a.m, all of us are knackered just on WhatsApp. We're like, oh, this is going to be it. And what it was like a disco ball of loads of different creators on there. And you couldn't really see it anyway, but it was on there.
Which still awesome.
Yeah, it was still on there, so that was cool. Yeah.
And you got to see that slap live as well.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Oh, I thought it was fake until he started shouting afterwards. Like, awkward.
Yeah, I thought he did the wrestling vibe.
Yeah.
I thought he did the whole slap, Dick Whitting then slap the thigh, like, do you know what I mean? And then when he sat back down in the F-bomb, man, I was like, whoa, he's fucking serious here. Like, oh, here we go.
You see his publicist in the corner, like, oh, God, no. We're good. Yeah, that was rough.
Oh, I bet I woke the band up on the old WhatsApp group. It was like, fucking hell, check us out. First thing I thought was like, can you imagine if Ricky Gervais was on there? Fucking hell, like.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Well, that's really interesting. That's so has that become like your target now? It's almost like, right, there's the song. Let's get that one. Let's get the next popular one out.
Yeah, well, that was just prime time, wasn't it? Because we put that up just as Encanto was blowing up, and we did actually. So we put that up on TikTok first, and that just went bonkers. And then Jessica Darrow from Encanto then got in touch with us and said she'd love to do a version of Surface Pressure, which is the song she sings from Encanto. So we also did a little cut of that for TikTok as well. Put that up. Both of those went crazy. But then we uploaded the full 2 tracks then to Spotify, and that's like we went from I think like 90,000 monthly listeners up to 150,000 monthly listeners with that song. Oh, and we just had a post on Unilad as well, which is like Lab Bible. So that's just
seen that.
Yeah, that's gone bonkers. I think we're getting like 1.4, 1.5 million streams at the month. And in a month at the moment.
Yeah, well, you had that. I seen the Unilad thing, which is fucking massive, and congratulations for that, because it was like, this is the covers band you got to check out at the moment, which was, I was like, fuck it, hell, fair play to him. And you were even on the radio as well. You were on Radio 1, I think. Scott Mills.
That was Surface Pressure. That was mental. That was on a chart show.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted about it, and we were like, nah, they're not on about us. And then we put it on, like, Jesus, what? Yeah.
Yeah, because I happened, I don't know why, but the radio was on, and I just remember kind of going, fuck. Because I thought they were going to play the track and stuff, but they were genuinely on about, like, she was singing on the track, and it's this band I've been following on, so he's been following you as well on TikTok, which is fucking crazy. So, but like you said, that's the name of the game these days. Like, it's keeping relevant, it's keeping the content going out there.
Our reach has been so mental, though. Everyone's seen us. Like, it's crazy because we keep getting into these conversations with people and they all know who we are. Like, all the guests as well, they're just like, they all know who we are, which is wild. But then when you actually, like, I did a data breakdown recently of all the TikTok stuff because we were talking to some labels and stuff. Well, not labels, like marketers around the world and stuff. And the amount of views worldwide that those videos have got is just like, everyone's seen it. So when you see people like that saying it, like, oh yeah, it does kind of make sense.
So how do I put this now, right? Obviously, like, you're a covers band, right? So there's clearly you've seen a market here. Like you said earlier, there's things that blow up on the internet. You're looking, oh, that's blown up. Let's do a cover of that. Boom. That's like this perfect, you're hitting it when it's hot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the success you're seeing now, because it's so strange, dude. when we were growing up, if you were doing covers, it was like lame. You're doing covers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're doing your own music, blah blah. But you've literally got this new market, and you're doing this and you're doing this so well, as you said, the production of it all, the arrangement of it all, and getting these guests on it that are obviously like killer tunes that have probably got writers, like 15 writers on these Disney songs, and like you said, are just incredible pieces of work, and you're just slamming it, dude. So obviously, being in a covers band and finding this market, it's like, oh, people always used to say you won't get money out of covers, but here you are proving the point.
Yeah. Like all the bands that I used to work with when I was making them do covers, it was always like the cover was the catalyst for the main stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like, right, we're going to get royals blowing up, but then we're going to bombard them with posts saying, oh, yeah, it's all right because we actually make originals and stuff.
Yeah.
But we might consider it one day with PRF, but we're just having so much fun doing the originals because it doesn't feel like a typical covers band because we rip these songs to pieces. And a lot of people say it's not like covers. It's more like we're completely changing these songs around and just giving them a new life.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Everything I've listened to, it was like taking you back to what those songs was brilliantly sort of catchy tunes. But you do it so well, bro. Hats off to you.
Well, I was looking at it as well as like I remember when Scooby-Doo years ago, they changed. It was like the new modern animated version of Scooby-Doo, and I think it was it All Time Low or
MXPX, wasn't it?
There we go.
Yeah,
so they did the brand new version of that. And it's almost like I heard the same with you guys. So the more I was getting drip fed, I was like, fucking hell. And I was almost imagining like if there's a new version of this, or if there's a new this, or you're almost capitalizing on that as a playlist, because it's almost like they can go Punk Rock Factory, we can go to them now because they've got the version of that. Or do you know what I mean? So it's fucking
well, that's a big goal for us. We want to do, instead of writing originals, we want to be doing theme tunes. So we're already talking to one thing, which it's a long way away, but if it works out, it could be huge. But we want to be doing theme tunes. Like we've always talked about that.
Yeah, it just makes sense as well. Like, do you know what I mean? But even like some of the versions you did, like Shane said earlier, I mean, fucking Thundercats, you got DuckTales, there's just so many little chestnuts there. That's without the big Disney hits. That's without like seeing this as well, where you're doing like your own take on like Limp Bizkit and stuff like that. But this is a thing with publishing and stuff. They might not even like the original version of Limp Bizkit. They might want a different version of Limp Bizkit, which is it's always great to have that in your playlist or your archive, your library, whatever you want to call it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like there's all these different banked versions that a company could go, fuck, we got this cool new American teeny film and we want this happening and we want that and we want a pop punky kind of version, and all of a sudden, bang, there you are. Like, so there's just so many avenues with it, like, do you know what I mean? So it's a cool, very like kudos to all of you. Like, you know, like I said, we keep an eye, and I was like, fuck, they're getting, you could see it growing and growing and growing, and it was like, wow. And then when I was speaking to Benj behind the scenes, he's like, full-time job now, but all of us are doing this. I was like, that's the dream, like, do you know what I mean? And then building right up to the fact we've talked a lot about online, but you've actually taken this on the road now as well. Your first gig was
Bloodstock.
You know, I gotta ask you, bro. What was the set? Can you just reel off some songs that was in your set at Bloodstock?
So what did we do? Power Rangers, Pokemon, Let It Go, loads of the Disney stuff. How Far I'll Go, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What? And they just lost their shit, like?
They went, honestly, we thought we were going to get bald. We only got asked to do that like a week before, so we were shitting our pants.
Yeah.
Like we'd like, they'd said a little bit before that there was potential, so we kind of worked on a 20-minute set, but then it was like, oh no, what were we like, one from the top? Yeah, so yeah, main support pretty much for that night. And we had to put an hour 20 set together. And we thought we were going to walk on stage and it was just going to like playing Disney. Nah, not happening. And they lost the plot. It was amazing. That audience was so good. They were singing along every song. You and them singing "Let It Go" at the end. I was like, "Whoa, this is deep." You got off stage, you couldn't believe it.
Well, I remember like the day after, that just yet again social media. That's the beauty of the world we live in. But it fucking blew up because I think you did "Let It Go," like you said. And I just seen a shitload, a tent full of fucking metalheads. That's what I was saying to Shane off camera. I was like, I just watched a tent blow up singing fucking "Let It Go" like in Bloodstock, which you can't fucking write.
And the amount of people that couldn't get in the tent as well, people like that were coming to see us, like publicists and people like that, were saying, "Oh yeah, we came over, we got a little bit late, couldn't get anywhere near the tent." It was like, "There's the tent, there's the fairground," and it was so far back because it was just this buzz of everyone wanted to come see us. We didn't know any of this. We were just like, see what happens, we'll have a laugh. And that was wicked. Considering that was the first show, even if that wasn't the first show, it still would have been bonkers. But we never expected that.
It's so cool, dude. It's so cool. And before I get on to the next chapter, obviously, because like I said, you've been taken on the road. All of this might not have happened. Am I right? For you in particular.
Yeah.
Personally, yeah.
Are you cool to talk about that or?
Yeah, of course. So what's that about? I think it's about 4 years ago now. We were practicing, and my hands started going a little bit weird. Like I was kind of like we were all laughing about it, as if I was like turning into a T-Rex, and I played drums like that with my hands up, and it was just I was starting getting pains all the time. So I started going to different doctors, and first they were saying it was like tennis elbow and repetitive strain injury from drumming and stuff. And like a year of back and forth, loads of tests and everything. And it was getting so bad. I had to stop drumming for a while. Like my hands were starting to swell and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and it just felt like my hands were on fire. It was horrible. Like proper just taking painkillers all the time just to stop hurting. And in the end, it turns out they diagnosed me then when they found out what it was. And it's called palindromic rheumatism, which is a rare type of arthritis where my joints are actually fine, but my immune system is attacking all these joints in my body. So it thinks there's arthritis. So it starts attacking and it swells up and everything. And it's horrible because like I'd have days where I couldn't walk and it's like my elbows, my wrists, my neck, and my hips and stuff. And it was like 3 years of all these different, right, try this medication, try that. And they tried this one medication. It started to help and all the flares stopped. But then my head started going really weird and I started getting mega anxious. And with the work that I do and was doing at the time, I'm dealing with like huge budgets of marketing and stuff. And I'm like getting all weird and worrying about everything. And then it turns out I started doing research because like my Mrs. Beck was just on it all the time, just making sure that I was on the right stuff. And she was doing all the research. And we found like case studies where with these tablets that I was taking, they can make you go a little bit loopy and stuff. So they took me off those and instantly my head went back to normal. But then the flares just started again. So it just got really bad. But then about a year ago, after it was at the start of lockdown, actually, really. Well, when I was going back to them, just saying like, look, I want to get on my life now. I can't live like this. It's proper driving me nuts. It's just not fun anymore. And they tried me on these injections called biologics, which Humira is called. And since then, it's been amazing. So I inject myself with these pens once every 2 weeks. And it's a good job I don't live in America because they probably cost about 10 grand a month or something. They're made by Samsung. It's mental. And I inject these into my leg. Fine. Absolutely bang on. I don't take anything else now. And even when we toured, I was bricking it. I was like, oh, what's going to happen now? Because I've never put my body through that much stress since having all this. And it was slamming. Like I started getting a few pains in my hands and I was really freaking out a little bit, but just sat there with a practice pad, fine. So to know that I'm all right now is wild. I genuinely thought I was done with drumming, which is bonkers.
So if you stop injecting, then it'll come back.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah,
dude.
Yeah, rough. And it's a pain because I got to keep them in the fridge as well. So when we do tour, I've got to fly with like proper special fridge bags and stuff like that, which is a bit of a pain, but if it'll stop it happening.
100%, dude. And I said to Shane, after we spoke earlier, I was like, look, we're going to touch on it because like it gave me a wake up. I haven't even got what you've got, but the boys, he'll tell you I warm up before I go on. I warm up when I'm not playing with the band. It just when you know it's someone close, it doesn't help. It just fucking you're like, it's real. You can see it on TV, you can see it on like your favorite musicians, but when it's someone you fucking know, you're a bit like, oh shit, I better start looking after myself. And I've always tried to keep myself fucking nimble, keep everything kind of moving. But when I heard how you combated it, that's what I had the most respect for, because it's so easy, dude. You could have just kind of gone, that's it. And like, there's so many people in the world who obviously have an illness or something happens, and that's it. They just kind of draw a line, and that's fucking it. So the respect I have for you is the fact that I know you went through that, the pain, the suffering, the head, how your head would have been with managing all of that going on as well. And the fact of, like, you know, we look at this picture now. And I'm like, that's fucking beautiful, dude. There's your happy ending, but there, like, do you know what I mean? It's
it does make it so much. Yeah, like, I do forget about it sometimes. I'm so used to just getting on with it. But when I think back to those times of just like 4 a.m, sitting downstairs crying, like, because it was horrible. It's just like, what's the point anymore? I was genuinely done with everything. I was just, I just couldn't be asked. But why bother going through all this rubbish? Because I was also, as well, it's like I like got my house and everything. I've got Beck. We got the dogs and everything. I was earning well and stuff. And I was just thinking, do you know what? I don't need anything else anymore. I might just kind of leave it there and just make a little bit of money from the few bits of royalties that I got coming in, and just not even bother anymore, and just kind of retire early and stuff. But then as soon as everything started working, it's like, whoa, come on, then, let's get on it. But it's weird times.
So you'd be in pain even if you weren't playing drums. It was a constant.
Oh yeah, I wasn't playing drums at the time. I couldn't do it because I couldn't really hold the sticks and stuff when it was happening. But it would flare up. It was, once the flares had stopped, I'd be okay. But then out of nowhere, just my hands would balloon up and stuff, and just pains all the time, and sometimes really rough. Like if I lifted a box or something heavy, I'd be out for like 4 days.
Is that like a genetic thing? Like, is anybody in your family got it? Right.
Yeah,
okay.
my dad's got arthritis.
Right.
My grandpa had arthritis, and so it's a big thing in my family.
Right. Shit,
but
man.
I really try and keep myself healthy now. I'm like mega into my meditation, and I have freezing cold showers every morning, just because that helps in certain ways. And like, I started training now 5 days a week, and I'm on it now. I'm full time with PRF, and I'm like, right, I want to get fit now. I want to sort it out. There's no point in just switching off and making do.
Love that, dude.
Fucking beautiful.
What type of meditation do you do?
So I do quite a lot of different ones, but I do the Wim Hof stuff, which is all a cold exposure, and then every morning just doing like the breathing stuff and just mindfulness, really.
Yeah.
I'm well into it all, though. Like, that's the one good thing about, as much as it was so shit with all the stuff that happened, it really got me thinking about like mental health, and reading loads about meditation and mindfulness, and looking at all these alternate holistic things and stuff. Like, not that it really helped the arthritis, but it really helped with my head. And it's a big part of my life now. Like, every morning I'll have a normal shower and then switch it to absolute freezing, and just try and kind of go with it, and it's class.
I do that as well.
Amazing. It's so good for you.
I've
so much science with it.
I've done the ice baths. I've only managed to combat it with a cup of tea as well, because there was like someone, honestly, to fuck. Someone said if you have a cup of tea when you're in there, you can tolerate it for 10 minutes, like, if that makes sense. So it's like, it's just like whether it's a placebo, but it's my placebo, like, but if you have a cup of tea just by the side and you drink the cup of tea, it just gets me through that fucking 10 minutes, like, because Matt from Periphery does I'm going to look into it now, the barrel. Have you seen the barrel?
Yeah, I was going to buy one of them.
I kind of did something similar to that when I was away. There was a spa at the hotel, but they had sauna, steam room, and all that type of stuff. But they had a snow room.
Oh, nice.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But then they have an ice bath. So I say an ice bath, it's just literally steps in a square hole, and it is
a pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
cold.
I couldn't believe that. And the thing is with me, like, whenever even if you go up in the swimming pool, if it's in like 30 degrees, the swimming pool is always going to be cold, isn't it? If you're at a hotel and stuff. And I don't tend to do the whole walk down the steps. I just jump in. I've always been like that. I did that with this ice cold plunge thing. I could not. believe my chest felt like it just instantly went tight, couldn't breathe, got out, went straight into like a jacuzzi, and my whole skin was on fire. It was like, but like 5 minutes after, I felt like $1 million. It was unbelievable.
It's bonkers, the feeling you get from it and just what it does to your skin and everything. And it's wicked. Aids muscle recovery, helps your head, everything. There's a lot to it.
Yeah,
well,
man,
I didn't know you were on that. Obviously, I knew. I follow Matt from Periphery, and he's gone well into it. There's a lot of drummers doing it now, see Shane, because of obviously like the movements and the aches and the joints and stuff. And then when you go down that rabbit hole, they're all saying about the what it does to your mind. And I didn't realize, and like you said, your skin as well. I didn't realize. Yeah. Just didn't realize all the benefits from it, like, you know.
The other thing as well is the whole Wim Hof method. There's the cold exposure is one off, and then there's the breathing is the other part, and it's basically holding your breath. It's what all the like free divers and stuff do.
Yes.
So most mornings now, I'll do this where you'll just take like 30 deep breaths in and out, and then you'll expel all your air out and hold it, and you just meditate then. So you're just meditating for as long as you can. And then you do 4 rounds of that. And first it'll be like you've held your breath for 1.5 minutes, then 2 minutes, and then you come back and you're like, geez, Christ, I just held my breath for like 3.5 minutes meditating. And it's wicked. And with the two of them together, like Wim Hof's a genius. There's so much to that.
Yeah, send me a link with that. That sounds fucking incredible, that does. Because Shane loves his swimming, and when I used to go swimming, I always used to do how long I could hold my breath under the water. I just found I'm a fucker for a competition as well, so I'd always try and beat how far I would go, like to the part where if it was uncomfortable, you just come up and then you get your breath. But I like the idea of that. That seems fucking cool. Like, send us a link for that, dude.
Yeah, I will.
But unbelievable, absolutely. Like I said, the recovery from everything, and then what you're doing with PRF, and like I said, you're on the road, which has been fantastic. Is the boys, man? You took it live out on the road a couple of months ago, was it?
Yeah. When was that? December. So end of November, December, and sold out quite a few of the shows as well.
Yes.
Still can't believe how well that sold.
It's brilliant. Yet again, blowing up all the socials. Must have been nice as well. Like I said, an idea that you and the guys have fun with in the studio, and then to say, right, let's just fucking go out. Number one, you do Bloodstock, and it's like, well, let's do our tour now. And then you've got the Tram Shed coming up, if I'm right.
Yeah, that's in 3 weeks, and you boys got to come down to that. The production that we've got is insane. Like we're not making any money. We're spending everything on it. Like our manager's just like, really? You want to spend 5-6 grand on that? Like, yeah, lovely. Check it on. Yeah, it's gonna be bonkers. Yeah, like what we want to do, like that tour obviously was amazing. That was a headline tour, and we just wanted to take the kind of studio on the road with us. So we had the backdrop printed and we had the neon sign on stage and everything. But this is what you get with a kind of full experience now, with all the lights, the entire show. Like we're trying to turn this into a real big, like a theater production almost. Instead of just being a band that goes on stage and plays. It's not about that. We want to really make it a show. And that's always been the plan with this. And some of the stuff is going to be bonkers.
Well, I'll make sure I message Benj not to spoil anything, but I'd be up for that, dude. We'll come down on the 7th.
Yeah, come down.
That would be slamming, like. Because, like I said, I've seen your live shows. I've seen clips all over the place. And you can see how you get the crowd going. Yeah. Everybody is into it. And what I like was you went from that backdrop, and like Cobb just said now, so you can see the neon sign in the background, and that's your studio setup, but live on the road. Like it's a version of it. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's what I found impressive when I seen the socials, because I knew you went down that path, like I said, and I was like, oh, cool as fuck. And then obviously when I seen that live, I was like, no, that is wicked. That's a game changer again. Like, do you know what I mean?
And this is going to be even different again now. It's a shame we've only used that backdrop once. We spent all our money on it. I used it once. But now, entirely just trying to do these kind of different variations of the show. And depending on what size of the venue or what kind of audience there is, we'll do a different show for each one. If it's a festival set, we'll do kind of one of those. And even to the way that, like, if we were going to do something like a V-Fest, we could do more of the pop stuff. If we're going to do Bloodstock, we're going to do more of the metal, Power Rangers-y type stuff. We're going to do Reading, we're going to do a different set. We want to make it so it's just, we want to just be this kind of party band, really. and we can pick and choose a set based on the crowd that's going to be there and what they're going to love.
That makes perfect sense. And obviously you've got Teddy Rocks coming up as well, which we're excited about that one, because that'll be the first one we're actually playing with you as well, which is great after all these years, mate. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you boys. And that's just going to be a wicked show. That is a really good cause, and looking forward to that one.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. And the 17th, like I said, for anybody who's watching this, if you go, tickets are available from punkrockfactory.com, and so is their back catalogue of vinyl, T-shirts. The merch is brill, dude. It's all marketed towards whether it be the songs or the album. Like I said, some of the names they literally, because they're fun. Like, that's what I love. Like A Whole New Worst, because you had the whole Sausage Factory going on as well, which was great. And that one, obviously, First the Worst is yet to come. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great play off what you were doing, and then the merch is fab as well. So all that's available as well at punkrockfactory.com.
Yeah, all on there. Yeah, we're constantly updating it all the time, bringing out new merch pretty much every week. Yeah, we got some really good new merch coming up as well for the Tramshed show.
There we are, bro. We're definitely coming now. Sold now.
Yeah,
new merch. We'll be there, brother.
Good. Lovely.
Thank you so much for joining us, bud. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you and picking your brain with all the sort of media stuff. Hopefully other bands as well, if they're listening. It's a real insight, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
Anytime. Absolute honor to come on.
We're going to play out now with your latest track then, so we don't talk about Bruno.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, bro.
Enjoy. Thanks, boys.
Take care. See you soon.
See you in a Tramshed.
Yes. See you soon. Cheers, Cobb.
Ta-ra, boys.
We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. But it was my wedding day. It was our wedding day. We were getting ready and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. No cloud in the sky. Bruno walks in with a mischievous grin. You telling this story or am I? I'm sorry, me and Peter go on. Bruno says it looks like rain. Why did he tell us? Into and so he floods my brain. I'm pulling at the umbrella. Mary's in a hurricane. What a joyous day, but anyway. We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. Living in fear of Bruno, stuttering and stumbling. I could always hear him sort of muttering and mumbling. I associate him with the sound of falling sand. It's a heavy lift with a gift so humbling. Always at the Bella and the family fumbling, grappling with the prophecies they couldn't understand. Do you understand? A 7-foot frame rats along his back. When he calls your name, it all fades to black. Yeah, he sees your dreams and feasts on your screams. We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Bruno. He told me my fish would die the next day dead. He told me I'd grow a gut, and just like he said, that all my hair would disappear. Now look at my head. Your fate is sealed when your prophecy is read. He told me that the life of my dreams would be promised to someday be mine. He told me that my power would grow like the grapes that thrive on the vine. OJ Mayano's on his way. He told me that the man of my dreams would be just out of reach. Betrothed to another. It's like a hero. I want down the sky, down to you. I can hear him now. Oh, Bruno. Yeah, about that Bruno. I really need to know about Bruno. Give me the truth and the whole truth, Bruno. Isabella, your boyfriend's here. Time for dinner. A
Here's the boys.
How's it going?
All right, boys.
Hi, what's happening?
Good.
The punk rock devil.
Yeah, man. Yeah, cool. I like a modern day Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. Isn't they?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely bang on. And so it's everything Cobb said, really. It was really fucking interesting of like how they found a market, like you said, Shane, and they just know exactly what to do. They have a template. What do you say? Like a template or format?
Yeah, it's a template, but I suppose it's so much easier to do it when they cover songs because they can just get in there, record it, bang, it's hot. So they've really pinpointed a market, and they're obviously doing it really, really well. So people want to hear it, but yeah, it's all working really well. It's a really well oiled machine, business. You can just tell, like.
Yeah, well, all the boys are savvy. They're great musicians, which fucking helps as well. I mean, you could hear the arrangements then, the harmonies, everything. It's like, it's proper class, like, do you know what I mean? Like, especially to turn it into that style and the pop punk market, I imagine as well, like, especially our age as well, is something that me and you talk about bands as well, don't we, Dave, constantly? Punk rock bands. So they've capitalized on that market as well. So you've got 30 plus the youngsters now coming through as well. So it's really clever, like.
Yeah,
It is. I just noticed this edge is quite cool. Like, you know, it's the punk rock edge of the screen, like.
On the edge, like.
Yeah. Like neon. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it just it's a change in the template. See, it always does my head in when if there's not the crow formation with the 5, it looks a bit weird with the so yeah, just another little bit of a new tweak. Sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. It kind of fades over the edges.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So how's your week been, boys? David and China?
It's been all right. Yeah, been busy, but it's been pretty good. Can't really complain.
Good. What about you, Shino?
I tell you what, before I answer your question,
Yeah.
I like the way Dave is dressed as a bank robber. I like
To
it.
be honest, you look like his accomplice.
Yeah,
Fucking Home Alone. The Home Alone guys, isn't it?
Yeah. So to answer your question, have I? No. I am not naked.
There we go.
It's under the hood. I'm in fucking disguise. Didn't you just you? Yeah. So what have I been doing? I've been building guitar rigs again, and then just playing guitar. Yeah, me and the old camper have had an outing again.
Sorting them out, but do.
I went back down and reprofiled my amps again.
All right.
And yeah, sounds like my amp. Kind of feels like my amp. Is it my tube amps? No.
I was going to say until next week.
Exactly. Yeah.
What did B just say there? Shane and Ronnie what? Shane and Ronnie clearly have warmer houses, t-shirts, not hats, and hoodies. I've just come back from
Pretty
big
shorts on as
increase,
well.
so- yeah, I got shorts on.
It's roasting, like.
I got my pants, just pants.
I look like I'm going out snowball fighting, don't I?
You do, yeah. You do.
Put the gloves on, like.
Yeah. It's the art it is, Dave. But
Get Lloyd's willy warmer.
Who's on your lap, Dave? Emma Ashcroft is asking.
Oh, that's Ralph. He's been a pain in the ass. He's just chewing my bag behind me. So,
M. Hicks puppy.
Come on, Dave. We've got to see the new puppy.
Come here. Come here. He's very obedient.
Yeah.
Come on. He's just looking at me. Come on. Oh, come here. Oh, yes. Good boy.
There we go.
Here we go.
Hey, look
Yes.
at that.
It's Ralphie.
There he is, Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph, yeah. He's a new addition.
How's he been settling in, mate?
Yeah, he's good. He's he's nowhere near as hard work as Indy was when we had it. I mean, Christ. Like anything's a breeze compared to that. So he's a little bit naughty, but he's fine.
That's good.
Like he's nibbling my guitar case as we speak. But he's too small to do any proper damage to anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but how big will he grow?
He'd probably be about 40 kilograms full grown. I think he's not going to be massive, but he's going to be more like chunky.
Right.
He's going to be a chunky monkey like.
Yeah. He's beautiful, dude.
Yeah, he's all right. Stop it.
We got any birthdays and shout outs?
Yes, we got a few actually. We'll start off with Jody Harris, founder of Nozfest. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Jody.
Happy birthday.
What a lovely day. Phil Metcalf. It was my other half's birthday, Lucas. Sorry, start again. It was my other half's birthday, Sue Lucas, on Thursday, March the 24th. If you could wish her a happy birthday, it would make her day. Many thanks. Phil Metcalf. Happy birthday, Sue. Hope you had a good day.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Alex Marsh, can you yet again please give a happy birthday shout out on Crowcast to Catherine Marsh from me and the dogs, Gillen Foss, for her birthday on Tuesday the 29th. This is now her third birthday shout out on Crowcast.
Happy
Birthday, Catherine.
That's crazy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Isn't that mental? Jane, aka Ginge, just dropped us a message saying she's been going through a difficult time the last month or so, and I want to say a big thank you to the Crow family. I've had lots of hugs, words of wisdom, calls, messages, etc. Too many to mention by name, but you all know who you are. It's very much appreciated. See you all at the gig soon. Thank you. Hope you're okay, Jane. Crow family got you back, clearly. That's all the shout outs.
What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
And this week, basically anything you want off the Crow shop again. Break me down. Break me down. Break me down. Break me down. What's the next line?
While we wait for the answer, let's catch up with Dave. What's going on with Crow Radio about?
The best music all day long. Crow Radio.
Crow Radio. Available now via Those Damn Crows Spotify page. Don't forget to click the green heart.
Here we go. I'm going to share the screen. Oh,
There
am I
he
up?
You're up.
So this week we've decided to pay tribute to the late great Mr. Taylor Hawkins, who, fuck me, was that a shock.
Just
Such a shock, man.
blew my
You
mind.
hear about guys in bands, rock stars dying and stuff all the time, don't you? But being 50 years old and also being in bands that we've all followed since day dot,
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to, I wouldn't say meet him properly, but I bumped into him and the other members of Foo Fighters without Dave Grohl. They looked miserable as fuck, but he had this massive smile on his face. They were about to go on stage, and I just remember that big fucking massive smile he had. He looked like he was fucking really looking forward to it. So that's how I remember him.
Yeah, just fortunate that me personally, I've got to see him. Do you know what I mean? So, just very, very fortunate, and a good few times, different environments, different stages. I remember going to see him in Reading years and years ago, and that was a great day. The first time I'd actually seen him in Reading. Just a very special band. This one hurt for us, I think, because you know, it's no lie. Me and Shane were on about it at the top of the show, and I said we touch on him more when you boys would come on, but just a band we've grown up with, innit, really? Like, you know what I mean? The transition from Nirvana, then Dave started Foo Fighters. I said to somebody the other day, I remember the first time I seen Taylor Hawkins was on an MTV video drumming for Alanis Morissette, and I was like, fuck, he's cool as fuck. And he just literally become one of my favorite drummers because I think it was him, Dave Grohl, and I've always said like Stuart Copeland as well, like, you know, so Roger Taylor obviously for Queen, and that's it. So it's kind of sad. I think me and you talked about this a lot in COVID, Shane, on different interviews. I haven't got a lot of drummers, you know, there's loads I like, but you know, when you say heroes, like, you know, that powerful, that's the, you know, people who inspire you, like, you know, and that's not a very big list I just give you then, and sadly one's gone now, like, and so young as well. I mean, fuck, it's a bucket list to share the stage with him, like, so it's just such a shame. Like, how about you, Shiner Boy?
I'm thinking, I definitely seen him once in Reading when we were up there. But then when I seen the Foo Fighters in '97 in Newport Centre, I don't know if he was playing drums or not. I genuinely can't remember.
That might have been the other dude, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't go to that one.
Definitely on the Colour and the Shape album run.
Yeah, I think that was the previous one. See, I'd watched him before me and you had seen him in Reading, yet again in Reading on a smaller stage, which was great as well. So I've seen him actually. I think it's 3 times in Reading. I think. Because I've seen him as well with the whole you know, with the heart background and stuff. When they had that one by one, the backdrop. And then obviously when we seen him last as well. It's just fucking, just like I said, tragic, but it's
I think my memory of that, the biggest memory I got of that Reading one we went to, was how hard he hit that snare drum, that he was basically going out to tune every 3 songs.
Yes. Yeah. They had to keep tuning it, didn't they?
Yeah. Just like,
and how fast, because we talk about we have a laugh about me with the tempos and stuff when I race, but they were fucking flying. Do you remember? Because we were laughing, like, because even Dave Grohl, I think, did a bit of a U-shing when he was like, fucking hell, Taylor. He was like, literally as they were playing, because they were fucking rampant that night. Like, do you know what I mean? It was, but a good rampant. It's always nice.
Yeah.
Even if a band are fast and they way faster than the song, it's always a key to see how tight they are with that fast. If they're still fucking tight, even if they're fucked, it's just a sign of a great band to me. Like, and there's been a lot of bands I've watched over the years who've done that. They've raced, but they're all still in the same zone. Like, you know, they're not of that musicianship where it's like one's struggling or because they're not used to kind of playing outside the grid of where they should be. Like, you know what I mean?
That's probably the one thing. Like, I saw them in Manchester, and when I was listening to them, yes, the tempos were definitely up. But it almost felt like Taylor was playing the certain fills and all that. He was just off the cuff, it wasn't in the box. He was like, I'm gonna try something different here. It was almost like he was jamming on every gig. Do you know what I mean? He was one of those drummers. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And just that, like, even how charismatic he was. You know, the faces he'd pull, the fact he would wear like surf shorts or those really tight, sort of loud, skin tight, like or a vest.
Yeah.
He looked like a dude who was just been on the surf, like literally just rocked up on stage and just started playing drums. So charismatic, so talented, so humble as well. Like, whenever I saw interviews of him, he never thought he was a rock star. He was I think there was one interview said, I'm not a rock star, I'm a musician, and took it seriously, but at the same time, clearly looked like he was having a ball every time he was behind the kit. And I can't help but, you know, what comes across as well, obviously on the live shows when seeing him, is just how close him and Dave Grohl are. And it's just so fucking sad, man, because, I mean, any musician, I think it's one of those jobs that, you know, if they've been successful, they become legends. And, you know, Taylor had another fucking 30 years plus, you know what I mean? If you look at Aerosmith, if you look at the Stones, do you know what I mean? So to see someone die so young that still had so much to give, but was still at his peak, like, and still had further to go, and what he could have done, it's just so fucking sad, man. It's like he's got a few years on us, clearly, but he wasn't fucking old, and he wasn't. He'll go down as a legend because his band and him, he's so inspirational, but he could have been. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to go now. He's not the legend that he should be yet. Do you know what I mean? Even though he is, he still had more. And it's just fucking heartbreaking because it's too close, man. It's to our age, and I feel like there's a lot of that. I don't know what it's fucking. I said to you, Ron, didn't I, in the chat tonight? It's like death was always like so far away, and it just seems through COVID or pandemic or whatever the situation now, I'm seeing a lot more younger, fitter people dying, and I don't know the causes, and I don't even want to get into that, what even the causes are, but fuck, man, death is literally can be around the corner, so fucking live your best day today, like, don't, and it's funny, actually, because I was watching this, I'd obviously found out the news, and it's mad because on the feed, you know, when stuff just comes up on a feed sometimes, and there was this. I'm always all about inspirational quotes and stuff, and so it's obviously like algorithms on my feed and stuff. But there was this quote that said, "Spend your weekend building the life you want, not using the weekend to escape the life you got." Do you know what I mean? Like
That's
using
great.
that weekend, because it's a rest now because I've been at work all week. No, use it to be better, and then see what next weekend does. And I thought that was fucking beautiful. And then that was straight off the bat of hearing Taylor's passing, and I was like, fuck, it just puts things into perspective because fuck knows how long any of us have got, and the legend isn't with us now, and God knows what's going to happen with the Foo Fighters, and it's just fucking travesty and all. Just love to his family and friends and the band, and it's fucking so sad. Anyway, that went on for now. Sorry.
No, it needed to be said because just he was an influence on us. So
Yeah,
we're going to miss him, and not as a personally, but as an influence in our lives, musically. So
yeah, we've broke on Crowcast, and there's been people passed in the industry. I mean, the closest one to us was obviously Tom because we toured with him, and and he's a mate. He's someone we've spent a lot of time with, and that cut deep. That did. And Taylor's more, he's an iconic. I mean, even when Lemmy passed, it was gutting for me because I obviously grew up loving Motorhead and Lemmy and everything like that. But Taylor, you just didn't expect it, like you said, Shane. I think that's where you were trying to. When you were trying to explain that, there's still more. There was still more in the tank. There was still, there's more albums. There's more. Yet again, just a real shock for us. And it's that wake up call, as you said, and especially when we come from a band like Nirvana, it's almost like, I don't know how you boys feel. I don't know if Foo Fighters are like up there for you, Shiner, right? Because I know Nirvana were, but Foo Fighters they've become my new Nirvana, if that makes sense. It's almost like I kind of went on the journey with Dave Grohl and I've just been loving it. And yeah, I'm a true Foo Fighters fan where I don't like everything they've done, but when they fucking hit it, oh my God, and the documentaries. I mean, I remember years ago, I phoned you after my tonsils and I just watched back and forth that documentary. And that was a massive inspiration to get back in a band, to be in the Crows, to be honest with you boys, because when I watched that documentary and kind of seen how they argued, how Dave went off to do his thing and Taylor was in a bad place then and stuff, and I was like, fuck. And then to see the love, and when they brought that album out, Wasting Light, which still today is one of my favorite Foo Fighters albums, that was a real powerful time for me because that gave me the first injection of, I got to get back in a band. I need to perform live. There was none of this, I want to get back in a band and I want to make it and I want to do this and I want to do that. It was just simple goal of, I want to get back in a room with guys I like this time, creating music, and I want to keep it organic, and I want it to be, you want to keep it perfect, almost like when you're young and pure when you're young, like when we were in bands. And There was none of the horrible shit that comes with it, if that makes sense, or the pressures, or the money, and the fucking, you know what I mean? It was just all about that essence of like Nirvana give us, I suppose, as a just get in a garage or a community centre or anywhere and make a fucking racket, like, you know. So yeah, very sad, very, very, very sad.
I think Nirvana were just like, they were like the trendsetters, weren't they? They were like a flash in a pan, and then obviously what happened to Kurt was fucking so tragic. And I remember being in school and that happening, and fucking hell, this was six. But I think the Foo Fighters have got like this catalog now, this library of their careers. Like, what was it, 20 years? It's like, so it's like you said, Ron, it's like growing up with those people, and they're a huge part of your life, like, you know what I mean? They're the soundtrack of your life. Whereas like Nirvana were the soundtrack of my teenage years, and that was a memory, and it's almost like it hit me then because it needed to, and I probably wouldn't have listened to Nirvana if I was like 20 years later on. But the Foo Fighters have almost taken that baton on, and like the next 20 years is where we are. So it's just so fucking tragic, man. And like you said, it should have been way more albums, way more fucking, and even his own stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like what he was dabbling in, and it's just heartbreaking.
It only feels like now we're touching on that. Do you know what I mean? It's always been, I don't know, it's like you've seen like slowly but surely, you know, like I knew he had the whole Chevy Metal vibe as well, which I still think to this day is one of the coolest cover band fucking names, Chevy Metal. And like when he done the solo stuff, it just seemed to be getting better. It's almost like the Foo Fighters were making him better creatively, and to come out of his shell and to have a go, like, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, because like there are interviews where he will say I'm just a drummer, but he wasn't. He was far more than that. Like you said, Dave, he's very charismatic. He's always joking. From what you see, like, you know, as a fan, I know that it's a different story, man. When you're in a band, sometimes you're traveling for hours. You know, it's not all fun and games. But from what you see on the outside, he was a great character. Like, do you know what I mean? So
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, this playlist has highlighted all the things you've said. Like his drumming, his songwriting, his singing, everything. So everything far, you know, in between other artists he played drums with on, you know, that type of thing. So let's just have a little scan through. So we started in with Low, Foo Fighters, Cold, Dream Widow, which I think was a recent thing.
It's fucking,
it's so good.
Yeah,
So good.
That me and Shane were talking about earlier, where I'm like, the fact that they just go for a black metal record.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Fucking,
absolutely love that.
Oh,
so Welcome Home, Coheed and Cambria.
One of my favorite tracks, that is, and I don't know if a lot of people knew that he actually played drums on that record, which I think Coheed and Cambria thanked him for being so helpful, like at a dark time of their career, like, you know. So
amazing. And then you've got Should Be Dancing, which you mentioned earlier, the DGs, which is absolutely brilliant. Best of You, Foo Fighters. Not Bad Luck, Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. Thanks for the Line, The Birds of Satan, the Taylor Hawkins project. Feed the Cruel, NHC, another Hawkins project.
What was that? That's with Navarro, is it? Dave,
Navarro, Hawkins, and I can't remember the other artist. It's
I'll check that out. I'm not sure. I've probably come across it, but yeah, that's wicked.
Bob quit his job. Taylor Hawkins. I don't know who Bob is, but good on him. I really blew it. Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. Rope, Foo Fighters. Rudy, Taylor Hawkins. Holy Man, Taylor Hawkins with Dennis Wilson from Beach Boys.
Ooh, I don't think I've heard that.
Cigar, that is I think it's a Pink Floyd cover. I think a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, it's a B-side on something, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it's a B-side of which single was it? Do you remember, Shina? You were the one who mentioned.
No, I don't. It would DOA, it was the other one.
Yeah. But it was a B-side, it was B-side of one of the singles anyway. And then finishing off with Times Like These, which is their live sort of piece in it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we are. Put that together. Enjoy it. Enjoy Taylor Hawkins and all he's done, and yeah, amazing.
Yeah, incredible, outstanding career, and like I said, I think he's cemented now, isn't he, in history, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he'll always live on throughout the even those, and I mean you're leaving out fucking how many hits. That doesn't even scratch the surface of how many hits there are, like, you know. So yeah, long may it continue. What's everybody got to do with that playlist, Dave?
Green Heart. If you want to save it to your library, Downwards Facing Arrow. If you want to download it and listen to it offline, and share it with your friends as well.
Fantastic, bro. Fantastic. Couple on there, mind. I haven't heard, so I'll be checking them out. So, yet again, love it. Crow Radio. Have we got a winner, Shane?
We have got a winner. So the lyric was "Break Me Down, Echoes of the Past Scream Loud." That's from Sin on Skin. And lots of people had it right, but the winner is Karen Cook. Congratulations, Karen.
Congratulations.
Let us know what you want off the web store, and we'll get that out to you ASAP. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. Now, this fact, you laugh and then you go, oh, that's quite sad. So I'm going to take you through this emotional roller coaster. So the founder of Match.com, which everyone knows Match.com. So he's the founder of Match.com. Gary Kremen, I think his name is. He lost his girlfriend to someone on Match.com. So they used his invention against him.
Oh, no.
How bad's that?
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's dark, isn't it?
I know. You'd be kind of wondering, it's like the creator of the atomic bomb, innit? You know? He was doing something for good and ended up fucking ruining his world. Like,
yeah, that's very Alanis Morissette, isn't it ironic?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you see what I mean about you laugh at first, then you go, oh, that's actually quite sad, the poor bastard. But it's interesting nonetheless, isn't it?
He'll find another girl. He got loads of money.
Well,
what was his name, Dave?
Match.com, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
what was his name?
Gary Kremen. I was going to say Gary Kremen, but that sounds a bit. Yeah. For obvious reasons.
Heads up, Gary. Tomorrow's another day, brother.
Yeah.
Go find another girl. Start up a company. Yeah. Oh, you got one.
Yeah.
Just
fuck that bitch.
Sorry, after the watershed. We're doing.
Oh, I love it. Have a think if there's anything I've forgotten, boys. But just a reminder for everybody, this Friday, the conversation with Cobb will be available on Crowcast podcast. There's a lot of people now at gigs again, which is fantastic, and they catch up within the weeks. This is an audible version. And don't forget, you can head over to our website, www.thosedamncrows.com, for all the latest merch. We've got hats still in store, and we've got hoodies and jackets, etc. It's all up to date at the moment with the current sizes. There will be more coming very, very soon, because I know you've been asking. And obviously, at the top of the show, we said about the primordial day splits are now up. We are on Friday, the 22nd of April. We're headlining. Along with Firestorm as well, which has been announced during the break from Crowcast, and the exciting Teddy Rocks as well, and more to be announced soon. Plus, before we check off as well, you've got the Planet Rocks, The Rocks. We've been nominated for Best British Artist, so if you haven't voted, this is your chance to vote for us. Thank you very much for the nomination, Planet Rock.
Yes, thank you. We'll post the link in the fan page again, I think, for that.
Yeah, that'd be great if we could do that after that. I'd love that. Have I left anything out, boys? What do you think, Dave?
You haven't told me how dashingly handsome I am tonight.
I forgot.
Maybe you should have done that.
I should have done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, one-liner shiner.
Quick money-making tip, then, is it? While we you?
Yeah, come on. Let's hear it.
Yeah. This one's for myself, though. I realised earlier I need to stop watching videos on gear.
Yeah.
Because I just spend all my money. So
yeah.
That's my tip. Stop watching fucking YouTube.
Stop watching YouTube.
Unless it's Crowcast, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen a couple on. Yeah. Ignore me on that one. Yeah.
Take that money you would have spent, people, on shit from watching YouTube, and go and spend it at thosedamncrows.com/ whatever.
Nice work, handsome Dave. Dave is handsome as a fiddle.
Hey,
this has been Crowcast episode 91, a special guest, Cobb from Punk Rock Factory. Thank you so much, as always, for the love and support. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you same time, same place next Tuesday, live at 9 on Crowcast episode 92. We're going to leave you now with a tribute to an incredible drummer, an inspirational musician, Mr. Taylor Hawkins. Stay safe, Crow family. Look after each other. No star.
I've had people say, in interviews like, "So, Taylor, what is it like to be a rock star?" And I'm like, fuck you, I'm not a rock star, I'm a musician.
Taylor Hawkins on the drums tonight. Look at that motherfucker. Taylor.
David.
Listen.
Yes?
Dan, light them up. Let me see all the people right now. See? They love you, man.
Feel it.
Okay. Here's the thing. Taylor Hawkins, best fucking drummer in the world. Taylor Hawkins, best fucking singer in the world. Taylor Hawkins gonna come down and sing a song for you tonight.
That was awesome, Smear.
Everybody dance now.
You guys want to hear Dave Grohl play the fucking drums? The best part about getting to be the lead singer of the Foo Fighters just for one song is I really do have the greatest rock and roll drummer on the planet Earth. To play drums for me.
You're not gonna get fired.
He ain't cheap. He ain't cheap, but he's worth it. You're gonna get your solo, don't you fucking worry. Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl? I'm not gonna do that to you anymore. You want to play a Queen song, Dave? No? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Each morning I get up, I die little. Can't really stand on my feet. Take a little look in the mirror and cry. Know what you do to me. Well, I spent all these years in believing you, but I just can't get no relief. No, somebody.
ladies and gentlemen.